This is Getting to Good Enough, a podcast to help you overcome perfectionism so you can do more of what you love. I'm Shannon Wilkinson, a life coach in Portland, Oregon, and I'm a recovering perfectionist who's getting better at good enough.
And I'm Janine Adams, a certified professional organizer in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm lucky enough to be naturally good at good enough.
And today we are talking about starting where you are.
Well, I'm good. How are you?
I'm at the end of a cold.
You're less
good. You can
good.
probably tell. Yes, I'm less good.
Yeah.
I'm great except for being sick.
Okay, well, you could be sick and not great, so I guess that's better.
Yeah. So I'm sure that people listening can probably hear that my voice sounds a little bit different, and hopefully I will be able to spare everyone from any particularly bad coughing fits.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. I'm sucking down my famous lemon ginger honey concoction.
I love that's famous. Who's it famous among?
Me.
I know all about it. Just
Me
the two
and
of us.
It's famous amongst us.
It really is. It's a good concoction, and maybe we can find a link to share on the show notes.
Yeah. It's really. I've had, I put it in those little jars. I've had an entire jar this week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's soothing, so that's good.
It is.
Well, we'll try not to waste any words then today, so that you make it through the podcast.
Then I guess we better get started.
Maybe so.
Which is what we're talking about.
Oh, did you do that on purpose?
I did not. I'm not thinking that quickly today. No, it's just coincidence that we are talking about starting where you are.
It's a beautiful coincidence. That was great. So yes, what do you mean? What does this even mean, Shannon?
Well, we talked about it in one of the episodes that we did recently on habits, and the idea is that you don't have to get anything set up. You don't have to know that you can do it. You don't have to get, everything perfect before you start. To just start wherever you're at.
Your ducks don't have to be all in a row before you pull the trigger and start something that you want to start doing, whether it's an activity maybe or a habit or really anything. Is that the idea?
Yeah, absolutely. And we joked a little bit about your penchant for starting new habits on the first day of the month.
Uh-huh.
And how that, there's some lovely symmetry when that works out, but so often it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. And it's so unnecessary. Yeah,
and then also, in episode 20 when we talked about my genealogy stuff, like archiving my family's historical documents, and that the perfectionist gets in the way because I wanted to have like the perfect system all figured out and set up before I got started.
Right. And it wasn't necessary.
Right. I just needed to start where I was at, which was like anything is better than nothing. Mm-hmm. Or, in this case, like it literally, I think I had with those particular documents sort of set things up that they weren't getting further damaged, but they definitely weren't being preserved properly. So.
And now they're in
archival folders.
Right. They may
in
not
archival
be,
boxes.
Yeah, and they may not be perfectly organized or perfectly labeled, but that doesn't matter because you started.
Right. And the brilliant thing about that is just by starting and moving forward, then I've created some momentum so that I got some information so I know how I want to move forward. Like, I didn't have enough information to know how I wanted to organize the stuff until I started organizing it.
Right. Right. That's so much the case. You don't know what you need to know until you start doing it.
Right.
Yeah. And
right.
how can you know everything about it if you haven't done it? I mean, I guess
exactly.
You can do research on the internet for your whole life, but that doesn't necessarily help.
I did spend a little bit of time on the internet and possibly checking out a lot of books from the library.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I saw your stack of books. Yeah. I think with my organizing clients, I see this a lot because they get it if we're dealing with clutter, for example, and they don't know where to start and they don't know what to do, they can just get paralyzed, and that's why they call me in, and we're glad to help them. But when you think about it, if it's clutter, you can just take a trash bag out and throw away obvious trash if it's that kind of clutter. I mean, it's so easy to take that step, or to sort a few things together, or just pluck out a few items that you can donate. But it becomes so paralyzing to feel like you have to have a big plan in place or know exactly how it's going to work out before you can take a single step.
Right. And that is really paralyzing. I catch myself doing that all the time, and it seems ridiculous when I think about it that I'm still doing that, but I do. Like, I'm thinking, I just went on a trip and I did my favorite thing, which is buy t-shirts, and I was already complaining about my t-shirt drawer being too full, and now when those shirts come out of the wash, I'm definitely gonna have to declutter my t-shirt drawer. But it's like, I don't want to do it because I don't have it all figured out, when I can't figure it out until I do it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, to me, it seems like decluttering your t-shirt drawer seems pretty straightforward. Is the question, you don't know how much room you're going to have to create? Or
well, because it turns into a row of dominoes. Like, well, if I'm going to do my t-shirt drawer, then I really should think about how I have both of these two drawers organized, because this doesn't really, and then it turns into this whole thing of I really have to reorganize my whole closet.
Well, and while you're at it, you might as well do your whole house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now you're on to it.
Right,
that's exactly how it works.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I faced that myself, and I mean, even though I know very well how to go about organizing it and decluttering a space in my own house, it's like I blow things up that it's going to take much longer. Like my bathroom closet, it needs some help, a lot of help. And I think it's not hard, and it's not even non-enjoyable. But in my mind, it's going to take a whole afternoon, which I don't think it would if I think about it.
Right.
So I just don't do it. I need a deadline. I need house guests, which actually I'm getting some, so that'll help. But I've been thinking about having my employee come and help me. So even though I could totally do it myself, I can pay someone to do it.
Right.
But it'll make it more fun.
Yeah. Well, and that would be a nice thing to do. But also, it's just, it's so funny. Like, when it's your thing, it's so easy for me to see all the different ways you could start and make it easy. And when it's my thing, I'm like, no, it's way more complicated than you think it is.
Right. It is amazing how that's the case. So maybe the answer is always consult with a friend when you're feeling like you can't get started on something. Yeah. I've been dealing with that very thing with YNAB, you need a budget, which is the budget, or budget doesn't seem like the right word, but the financial accountability.
It's budgeting.
Yeah,
it's budgeting, but it's a different way to approach budgeting. Right. But yeah.
So I know you love it, and I have decided that I want to implement it, and I feel like I haven't had time to do the proper research to get started on it, and never mind that I blew my opportunity to have you help me when I saw you last month. So I checked a book out from the library, yay, and I haven't read it.
Oh.
Yeah. But part of it's because I've been really busy, and so it hasn't taken a priority because I've been when I'm not working with clients, I've been doing other things.
Can I make a suggestion with this in particular?
Sure.
With YNAB, reading about it didn't get me anywhere. It wasn't until they have a lot of they do like webinar classes.
Oh, right. You told me that.
And that's when I got how it worked. It wasn't until I could see it in action and they were actually like using a budget and doing that it made sense to me. And this is a perfect example, like you have to do it even when you don't fully understand it, because it's not going to make sense until you have been doing it for a while.
A little bit like Evernote, where the more you use it, the more useful it gets. Right. Well, that's a good suggestion. I mean, you had suggested that before, and I'd forgotten about the webinars. I don't tend to be somebody with a lot of patience for watching videos.
Right.
I watch a lot of TV, but instructional videos. I tend to want to prefer a book, but that's I trust you when you say that it's easier to see it. So thank you. And so, I need to let it be easy, figure out, budget a little bit of time just to see enough where I feel like I can get started. Yeah.
Well, and then I will also say that YNAB has this brilliant thing that I can't remember. Fresh Start. It's called Fresh Start. And basically you can click Fresh Start and start all over again. And
oh, wow.
So one of the things you could do is think perhaps that start for November and let November be your practice month, and know that if you sort of don't like how you did it or whatever, you could do a fresh start. And
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that they make that easy to do and give you permission to do. And that applies to so much to what we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. If just getting started doesn't mean we're etching something in stone,
right?
Unless, of course, we're getting started on etching something in stone. But yeah,
for all you stone etchers out
that's
there.
Right. If we have any stone etchers, this doesn't apply to you. But I love that. I think that was very freeing for me to hear in this, for this little particular example. So,
good.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things that I was thinking about when I was thinking about this particular topic, was that when I, for myself or for my clients, think about doing something as a practice or an experiment, then it makes it so much easier to start where I am and move forward from there.
The stakes are lowered. You give yourself permission to make a mistake, right? And that's part of it. Sometimes I think with perfectionism is you want to do it perfectly. Yeah.
Right.
That's excellent.
Well, and I think about this with meditation and a meditation practice. You may quote unquote get better at meditation, and that you may have fewer intrusive thoughts, or you may be able to focus on whatever you want to focus on, or whatever. You may feel more comfortable doing it for longer periods of time, but it's not like you learn to meditate and you're done. It's a practice. Some days are easier than others, but it's not like you learn it and you're finished. And so I think the more, for me anyway, that I can think of pretty much everything I do as a practice like that, the easier it is to get started and the easier it is to continue.
Mm-hmm. Why take ourselves so darn seriously? Where everything is dire, or every effort is really important.
Right. It's not all life or death.
Right. Unless, dang, I couldn't think of, I was going to come up with a little joke, but I couldn't come up with one.
Unless it is. Dun, dun, dun.
Unless you're a, what? I don't know, yeah. Right. So if it were life and death, we hope people are taking it very seriously. But for something like my budget or your T-shirt drawer,
right,
it's not life or death. Yeah.
My T-shirt drawer is very serious.
Sorry. I know you take your T-shirts really seriously.
Yeah. Right now, I'm wearing I've got a crush on you T-shirt.
Oh, that's what I was picturing you in. Honest to God.
Really?
Yeah, because
seriously?
You bought that in St. Louis.
I did buy it in St. Louis.
I remember.
I love this T-shirt.
When I think of your graphic T-shirts, that's the one I always think of.
Oh.
It's so
that's
funny.
Awesome. That is really funny.
Yeah. The one thing that pops to mind when I think about starting where you are sort of in a more literal sense when it comes to organizing is, or two things. One with organizing is mail. So clients will get over, lots of people I work with have trouble staying on top of their mail and their postal mail. And I'll suggest that we just set up a system and then starting when the mail comes tomorrow, implement that system. I usually suggest a desktop file solution. And don't even worry about that old mail right now. Just let's start tomorrow. Don't wait until that backlog of mail is all processed, is all gone through before you start implementing a new system. Because most of that mail, it doesn't really matter anyway, right? Or with genealogy, I'm a big proponent of not printing out stuff that we find online. I used to print stuff out and then I'd file the papers, but now I don't. I download them and process everything within my computer. And I'm usually, when people say, well, what about all the papers I already have? Or about that stack of paper I have to file, I just say, well, if you decide you want to go paperless, just start now. Tomorrow, the next document that you find, don't print it. And then, deal with the backlog as you go. You can always put it in a box.
It seems so rational and logical when you say it. But, I've been in that position so many times, and I have clients that are in that. Like, they want to have the whole system set up and everything working perfectly before they start it, which is not actually possible.
Right. Yeah. So it's an interesting mindset that we get ourselves into, without a doubt.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's one of the other things that this topic made me think about is the idea of wanting to know that you'll be successful before you start, which is part of this. Wanting to know how it's going to turn out before you do something, wanting to know that you're going to get it right, wanting to know that you're going to be good at it, and that also makes it difficult to start. I think we talked about marathon running in a recent episode and how, you don't start by running 26.2 miles. You start by, depending on your level of fitness, wherever you're at. That's where you start, and then you train from there. Right. And I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but I don't, it's so easy to get caught up in that other thing of thinking that you need to have it all figured out.
Right. It sounds so obvious about a marathon. No one would expect me to run 26 miles today. I'm not in that kind of shape. yet somehow we expect ourselves to be able to put together a amazing filing system and file all the papers into it without making a mistake or without
any training or practice or trial and error as you figure out how to do it.
Right.
And it's really funny.
Right.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I was just thinking, I was like, even when you're training for a marathon, you never run 26 miles before you run the marathon.
That's right. I have seen those training regimens. What's the farthest you run? If
most people never run more than 20 or 22 miles before they run the marathon.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I was going to say was, if you and I were caught up in knowing that we would be successful or knowing that we would do it well or do it right, we would never have started this podcast. Because we had no idea what we were doing or whether we could do it well.
That's true. We had no idea. Although, what's interesting about that is that our goal wasn't to have a successful podcast.
Right.
Our goal was to have fun talking with each other about things that we care about.
Yeah. And that's a fairly easy... Actually, when you put it that way, we were pretty assured we would reach our goal because we know that we're good at talking about things that we care about and then have a good time doing it.
Janine?
Yeah.
Drink. Because it all comes down to knowing your why.
That's right. I was waiting for it. I'm going to take a drink. I was wondering when it was going to come up. And there it is. Right. So I guess my example of the podcast isn't a good one in terms of knowing we're going to be successful, but we didn't get wrapped up in perfectionism, certainly.
No, but we so easily could have. Mm-hmm. We could have thought about it and been like, well, we don't know how to podcast and we don't know what equipment we should have and we don't know how to, I don't even know all of the things that we didn't know.
We didn't know how what you had to do to get it out there. We didn't know much, right. But thankfully we had Google and we already owned microphones, so we didn't have to make a decision on that. So right. That was nice.
That made it easier.
Yeah.
But we so easily could have gotten caught up in that if we didn't keep bringing ourselves back to why we were doing it and what really mattered to us.
Right, and we knew that since it was a podcast about good enough, that we didn't have to. Our standards were a little lower. It really did take the pressure off, yeah. But, I mean, I'm sure it's true of you. I know it's how long have we been doing this now? 4 months. In the time that we've been doing it, my standards of good enough have come up so much. I mean, practically daily. I'll stop. I'll decide something's finished because it's good enough. Mm-hmm. And it's because we're thinking about it all the time.
Yeah. It's truly made a day-to-day difference in my life.
Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that we started where we were and just did it.
Yes. I think about making mistakes and learning, and really it's not so much mistakes, but that you're just gathering information. You're getting feedback to know what works for you, what doesn't, what works, what helps you achieve the results that you want and what doesn't, so that you can either keep doing more of what you're doing or do something different. Mm-hmm. And that's all feedback that you don't get if you aren't doing something.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm feeling re-inspired to just get started. Mm-hmm. And, I came up with a half a dozen ways in my mind that you could get started with your bathroom closet, mm-hmm. all of which also apply to me in my t-shirt drawer.
Right. So you'll have to text me when your t-shirt drawer, send me a picture when your t-shirt drawer is organized.
I will. Well, maybe I'll do a before and after picture.
That's always nice.
Exciting. But the thing that I want to remind myself of is that there is no perfect way. Like, the whole, like, do it right thing is a myth.
Exactly. It's so true. It's so true on really everything, but certainly in organizing and decluttering.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're only unsuccessful if you stop.
Or if don't start.
Right. Exactly. But if you keep working towards what you want, that's success.
Absolutely. And you know what? I just feel like saying that stopping isn't necessarily failure, but...
No.
Right.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant.
Right. I didn't think you meant that.
Oh, yeah, maybe we should stop. No, I mean that I mean stopping more in terms of giving up, like, I can't do this, as opposed to choosing that this is where you want to stop. You know, this is where you're going to quit doing it. Okay. I'm still not explaining what I mean very well.
I understand that, what you mean.
Do you?
Yeah. Giving up in terms, or even just giving up an idea of doing something because you can't know that it's going to be great, and never starting, or just giving it a half-hearted attempt because you haven't come up with enough information. But stopping things that aren't working out well for you is not a bad thing.
Oh, no, not at all.
Right.
That's a smart thing. It's a helpful thing.
Yeah.
All right. So, any other last thoughts on that?
No, I feel like we covered it. I think start where you are. Doesn't matter where you are. Just start if you want to.
Yep.
Get something.
Just start, and maybe try to have some fun. At least, experiment and try different things. And, if it's not easy to start one way, try a different way.
Consider it a rehearsal.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you for listening. We would love to hear from you, as always. We are at gettingtogoodenough.com, where we have our show notes. That's always a great place to share a comment, ask a question, get in a conversation with us about our episode topics. You can also leave a voicemail at 413-424-GTGE. That's 4843. We would love to answer your questions and hear your comments. And then we are on social media, and you can find links to all of our social media on our website. And also, when you visit our website, please make sure and sign up to get email notifications. And an email goes out every week when we have a new episode along with the show notes.
Excellent.
So, yeah. For now, what?
I was going to say, you added a new thing. You just threw in something new there.
I know. We've been doing it, but we haven't been talking about it.
Right. That's good.
People sign up. It's good. And then, if we ever have anything, special we want to share with our listeners directly, that's how we will do it.
Right.
So, again, thank you for listening. This is Shannon Wilkinson in Portland, Oregon.
And Janine Adams in St. Louis, Missouri.
And we hope that good enough is getting easier for you.